Tonight on KOTA Territory News at 5:30, a new U.S. Marshal for South Dakota has been nominated. Plus, Governor Larry Roden announces the staff chosen for the new Correctional Rehabilitation Task Force. And tensions are high as post-shutdown back pay for federal employees is brought into question. Your news starts now.
From Skyline Drive, this is KOTA Territory News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Jack Cottle. President Trump's nomination for South Dakota's top federal prosecutor has been confirmed by the Senate. Ron Parsons was one of 107 nominees to be confirmed in a single vote today and will take over as a U.S. attorney for the District of South Dakota. Senate Majority Leader John Thune took to social media to congratulate Parsons. Thune wrote, in part, Ron has already proven he has what it takes to be a great U.S. attorney, and I know he'll continue to work hard for the people of South Dakota. Parsons previously served as a U.S. attorney for South Dakota from 2018 to 2021. It is day 7 of the government shutdown, and federal workers are now being warned they might not get any back pay. The Associated Press reports a memo circulating the White House calls into question a long-standing reimbursement policy impacting roughly 750,000 furloughed employees. It says back pay must be provided by Congress if it chooses to do so. This comes on the same day as concerning comments from President Trump, who said, quote, "There are some people that don't deserve to be taken care of. We'll take care of them in a different way." Refusing retroactive pay would all but guarantee legal action, according to the AP. With the federal government shutting down last week, there have been air travel delays in places around the country due to air traffic control being short-staffed. Our Brian Savage spoke to several passengers at Rapid City Regional Airport today to learn if they had any travel concerns due to the shutdown.
Now, with the U.S. finding itself in another government shutdown, the first one since late 2018, some people are concerned about how it may impact air travel.
Especially for my family and everything, they were worried for me that I can't go back. I will have my flight delayed and I won't have where to stay or what to do.
One person is concerned for her child, who is a first-time flyer.
That's my biggest fear. And are they going to know what to do if there is a delay? I told them just be patient and work through it. Yeah. That's all you can do.
Carter is also worried about how various airport operations could be affected.
With the air traffic control, make sure everything's where it needs to be, people are where they need to be. The TSA employees, that they don't get frustrated and give up and go look for other employment.
Coleman, a traveler from Romania, is worried about her visa.
If the things that happen now will impact my visa from next year, that's going to be bad. I won't come back. I can't go back in. Actually, it impacts Europe as well. It's also connected. Everything is connected, actually.
Other people say they didn't feel their air travel was impacted at all.
Everything seems to be moving as normal. I don't see any delays, and I don't see any anxiety either among the travelers or TSA.
A traveler that flew from Tampa Bay to Dallas and then to Rapid City didn't even give the shutdown a second thought.
I didn't see any effects as far as at the airlines, especially at this airport.
The Rapid City Regional Airport's Marketing and Communications Manager, Megan Johnson, says there have been no disruptions to the airport's flight operations due to the shutdown at this time. In Rapid City, Brian Savage, KOTA Territory News.
Well, it turned out to be a nice day after the cold start this morning. Will it continue to warm up? Chief Meteorologist Davis Stradling is here to let us know. Yeah, that was a quick warm up we had out there this morning.
Yeah, morning lows, afternoon highs, all going to be increasing through the end of the week. Today we started off in the 30s for much of KOTA Territory, even a couple of 20s on the map for us. Our low temperatures, as you take a look here on our map, it is 29 towards Sheridan, 28 in Custer, 30s for many others. There were widespread areas of frost and other things happening overnight in the morning hours. We did warm up into the 60s. There's our Golden West weather camera looking over downtown Rapid City. A pretty nice evening, plenty of 60s on the map, but we are noticing 50s from Ekalaka to Alzada, Wright, Newcastle, Spearfish, Custer. Those temperatures will continue to drop. There was a slight breeze throughout the day today, but those winds are calming down. However, warmer air continues to move in. Stronger winds also. That'll increase fire danger. I'll have details on all of those topics and more coming up in my First Alert forecast later on.
Thank you, David. The trial of Ezekiel Mayweather continues in court today. Mayweather is charged with aiding and abetting first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder for the death of Esther Wolf in February of 2024. Testimony from law enforcement today covered Mayweather's interviews with officers after his arrest. Evidence submitted during testimony related to the contents of Mayweather's mother's phone, Arcadius Wright's phone, and the location data from Mayweather's phone. The phones contain images and messages relating to Esther Wolf. The prosecution will continue to build their case tomorrow. On the last week in September, tribal law enforcement and partners with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, that's last weekend, led a Safe Homelands operation on the Pine Ridge Reservation. Several traffic stop investigations led to the agencies finding and seizing nearly a half pound of methamphetamine and an illegal modified gun. 3 suspects were also caught possessing firearms, as well as the seizure of a substantial amount of money in connection to illegal narcotics. The suspects involved in the incidents were arrested with charges pending. If anyone ever sees anything suspicious, people are encouraged to contact and submit tips to the Oglala Sioux Tribe Department of Public Safety at 605-867-5111. This morning, Governor Larry Roden announced the full membership of the new Correctional Rehabilitation Task Force. The 30-person team is comprised of members of the state legislature, school boards, law enforcement, mental and tribal health leaders, and nonprofit heads, and is led by Lieutenant Governor Tony Venheisen, who will serve as the chair. The task force was established through an executive order following the passage of a bill which provides a new prison in Sioux Falls and will decide the best path for advancing rehabilitation services for the prison. Pennington County Sheriff Brian Mueller says he is humbled and honored to be a part of the new task force.
How can we coordinate those resources and make sure that we're making the most out of their time while they're in county jails, while they're in the state prison system, to be able to work on some life skills, some substance abuse issues, job skills, so when they get back out in our communities, they have less of a chance to reoffend and they can be productive members of society. There are some things we definitely could do better and coordinate better in the state, and I'm excited to be part of this task force.
According to a news release, the task force will begin working later this month. President Trump has nominated the director of the South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigation to serve as the U.S. Marshal for South Dakota. Dan Satterlee was recommended for the job by his current boss, South Dakota Attorney General Marty Jackley. In a statement, Jackley said Satterlee has been an excellent leader for DCI and he will do the same as U.S. Marshal. Satterlee's position was supported by Senators John Thune and Mike Rounds. Rounds posted to social media saying he looks forward to supporting Satterlee through his Senate confirmation process. 84 veterans from across KOTA territory and beyond are in Washington, D.C. today with Midwest Honor Flight Mission 28. The Korea, peacetime, and Vietnam War veterans started their mission in Sioux Falls last night at the welcome banquet to receive their orders. They left Sioux Falls before the sun came up. They received a warm welcome at Reagan National Airport. They visited the Air Force, Iwo Jima, and Navy memorials, watched the changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Arlington National Cemetery. They finished the trip off at the World War II, Korean, and Vietnam War memorials, where Senator John Thune made a stop to thank the veterans for their service. They will be welcomed back in Sioux Falls later tonight. Have you read books like The Perks of Being a Wallflower, Wicked, or A Clockwork Orange? Well, these are the most banned books of the 2024-25 school year, according to pen.org. This week is Banned Book Week, which was established in 1982, bringing bookworms together to support the freedom to read. The owner of Petals and Pages in Custer talked about the importance of recognizing banned books.
I was really shocked to find out some of my childhood favorites have once been banned. And it's just so funny because I don't remember that as the message. I took away something different. So it's kind of, what message are someone not wanting you to read about or hear about? And then also, you know, celebrating the authors that have written these books and kind of their voice and the message they want to portray.
According to pen.org, for the 2024-25 school year, America has banned more than 6,500 books. Florida is the #1 state for the most books banned, followed by Texas and Tennessee. The Rapid City Public Library got a little louder this morning. What was once patches of grass and concrete is now a musical gateway disguised as a garden with bright flower bells, silver cattail chimes, a sunflower drum, and ladybug percussion blocks. It's all set in a bouncy rubbery surface that encourages play and activity. A library official told us the new sound garden helps alleviate maintenance from the Parks Department, makes the area part of their mission of education, play, and connecting the community.
It is so wonderful to see, even before you step through the doors, that the library is about fun and play and bringing people together. And it's a third space, right? It's free. I just spoke with someone the other day at court-appointed special advocates of how important a place like the library is for kids that need a place to go. And now the fun starts before you even go in.
A story time took place at the new musical garden for children and their families to enjoy. Cool air and clear skies this evening. Will tomorrow be more of the same? We'll let you know in your accurate First Alert forecast coming up later. But first, Representative Dusty Johnson opens up on considering using tariff funds to help struggling farmers. That story's next. President Trump is expected to announce aid for soybean farmers impacted by the trade stalemate between the U.S. and China. KOTA Territory's Blake Trolley spoke to Representative Dusty Johnson, who says he's open to using tariff revenue to help struggling farmers.
Details of a potential aid package remain unknown days after U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said on CNBC that the public could expect news of substantial support for our farmers, especially the soybean farmers, as soon as Tuesday. In an interview with KOTA Territory News last week, Congressman Dusty Johnson gave a look into the current soybean market.
What are you hearing from soybean farmers here in South Dakota? I'm sure your phone's going off.
Yeah, there are concerns, and these are legitimate concerns. We know that right now, to my knowledge, there's not a single order of soybeans from either South Dakota or North Dakota that is headed to the Pacific Northwest. Why do I mention the Pacific Northwest? That's where all of the trade, we provide a lot of soybeans to Asia. In fact, in any given year, about half of American soybeans go to Asia. And we know right now there is not a single order of beans headed for that export market.
Johnson said he's not a fan of high tariffs as a permanent fixture in the American economy, but expressed his support for President Trump's use of tariffs to try to improve trade conditions between the U.S. and other countries. He noted that the current tariffs have generated large amounts of revenue.
I'm open to the idea that some of that revenue, that tariff revenue, should go to the American farmers who are on the front lines. They are the tip of the spear. They're getting the short end of the stick.
On the potential aid itself, South Dakota Soybean Association President Kevin Deinert said KOTA Territory News' statement reading, "While we recognize that the administration is planning payments to soybean growers, South Dakota farmers would much prefer to earn their income through trade rather than government support. That's why it is imperative that tariffs are removed quickly and new trade agreements are reached now." President Trump wrote on social media that he plans to make soybeans a major topic of discussion in an upcoming meeting with the president of China. In Rapid City, Blake Trolley, KOTA Territory News.
Chief Meteorologist David Stradling is tracking stronger winds and warmer air. The details are in your accurate First Alert forecast next.
Now, the First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist David Stradling.
We take a look outside downtown Rapid City. Things looking pretty nice for us. A lot of sunshine still this evening, but we're noticing that sunlight getting shorter and shorter as the sun sets early as we get closer towards the winter solstice. Now we look at our Golden West weather camera. Beautiful conditions. Temperatures still at 62 out at the Rapid City Airport. More 50s are beginning to pop up as that sun angle gets lower. We'll be about 59 downtown Rapid City currently towards Piedmont and up into Sturgis. 57 for both Spearfish and Belle Fourche. Now wind speeds, they've weakened a little bit from what we had earlier today. It wasn't overly breezy, but it was noticeable at times. We'll notice those winds pick up again after midnight tonight. So we'll become breezy overnight tonight. 44 is the low temperature. Winds out of the south at about 15 to 30 miles per hour. That's including the gusts. 78 for a high tomorrow. Breezy with sunny skies. Wind gust to 35 miles per hour in downtown Rapid City. And that'll lead to some fire danger. We have moderate fire danger in the blue locations for our grasslands. And we have high fire danger in the yellow, including Rapid Rapid City, down towards the Fairburn area, and into Hot Springs towards Edgemont. Oglala, Lakota County, the Custer County Plains, and eastern Fall River County for Ulrichs there. You have a very high fire danger for the day tomorrow. We'll notice those winds picking up after midnight, like I mentioned, gusting up to about 30 miles per hour. Wind gusts continue to pick up tomorrow. 30 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts are expected, especially across western South Dakota. And then those winds will weaken. Not much going on Thursday, so we're just going to scoot right by it. Heading into Friday, wind speeds will pick back up. It'll be strongest in northwest South Dakota with some of those gusts towards 40 miles per hour, but elsewhere we'll have wind gusts 30 to 35 miles per hour. Staying breezy on Saturday. It'll stay breezy Saturday night, and once again on Sunday for us, we'll have wind gusts back up to maybe 30 to 35 miles per hour. So it is going to stay quite breezy for us. And we're under a ridge right now. As you'll notice, you have very warm air. These warmer colors, oranges, yellows, all the way up into the northern Rockies. Those are going to continue as we go throughout the rest of the week, keeping temperatures well above average, likely having highs in the 70s and even some 80s as we make our way into Saturday. Now, we will be noticing a disturbance moving into the Pacific Northwest by the time we get to Friday and Saturday. Models are showing this shifting a little farther eastward as we make our way into Sunday. However, the European model here is actually keeping it a little farther to the northwest and pushing it farther north, so that cool air is not as likely with the European model. However, the American has that right over the Black Hills, so we may be kind of battling it out over the next couple of days and see what's happening. But right now, what that means for you is likely just going to have highs in the 50s. No concerns really with wintry precipitation at all. As we go overnight tonight, temperatures are in the 40s for many spots. It will get breezy late for tomorrow. We're up into the 70s area wide. It's going to be a beautiful day. Sunny skies, a little breezy, strongest winds on the South Dakota Plains. And over the next 3 days, northeast Wyoming will be a bit breezy for Wednesday and Friday. A lot of sunshine. A few clouds begin to move in on Friday. Temperatures staying quite mild. A lot of sunshine for everyone Wednesday and Thursday. We'll notice clouds moving in. And for the South Dakota Plains, highs will be in the 70s for much of the area. Northwest South Dakota Friday, maybe a touch lower in the upper 60s. 81 Saturday, still looking like the warmest day. 57 by Monday, 66 Sunday, 60 Tuesday. So cooler air, but kind of closer to average during the end of that forecast.
I still feel better when you put breezy up there instead of windy. So
we'll get to those windy days. The breezy days are kind of warming us up, but yeah, it's going to be a little more common as we get in that transition season to see more wind.
All right, thank you very much, David. Coming up, the Rapid City Christian and St. Thomas More girls tennis team deliver a strong performance at the state tournament. Plus, boys golfers get out the clubs for the final round of their state tournament. Get Quick is all your exciting highlights next in KOTA Sports.
Sponsored by your local Ford stores.
Happy dinner time, everybody. After round one of the AA Boys State Golf Tournament at Meadowbrook, Harrisburg held the team lead with Sioux Falls O'Gorman second. Today, the players returned to the course for the final 18 holes of the high school season. Scenic Rapid Creek flowing smoothly through Meadowbrook today. Action from the par 4 ninth hole. Spearfish's Alex Dunwoody connects on the approach shot as he puts his ball in the middle of the green. Dunwoody then knocked down the putt for bogey. The Spartan shot a second round 93. Rapid City Central's Easton Tesh with the long putt for par. This one has a chance but stops just short. Tesh dropped it home for bogey as he shot a second round 88. Sturgis's Jackson Dodson eyes the putt for bogey, and he drains it. The Scooper shot a second round 82. To the par 4 13th hole, Brandon Valley's Jackson Burns connects on the nice chip shot as he sticks this ball right near the flag. He went on to par the hole and shot a second round 79. Harrisburg's Charlie Swift with the chip, and it is a beauty. Swift lands this ball right near the flag. Swift converted for par. He shot a second round 74 and finishes tied for second at 3 over for the tournament. Sioux Falls O'Gorman's Tayton Monty held the lead after round one. He kept things rolling, nearly holds this chip. He hit the putt for par and followed up his first round 68 with a 74 to claim the AA state championship at 2 under. Harrisburg wins the team championship with O'Gorman second and Stevens ninth. The Class Class A Boys State Golf Tournament wrapped up in Vermilion today. Dakota Valley wins the team championship with Vermilion second and St. Thomas More third. Cavaliers' Hayden Haig is the runaway individual champ. He follows up his first round at 69 with another 69 to finish at 6 under. He beat the rest of the field by 7 strokes. Let's roll on out of the state tennis scores if we can. The Class A Girls State Tennis Tournament wrapped up in Sioux Falls today. Sioux Falls Christian wins the team championship. A good showing for Rapid City Christian and St. Thomas More as they finished second and third. The Cavs' Amity Strand finished second in Flight 1 singles. Tonight, we've got girls soccer playoffs going on as well as boys soccer playoffs. I'll have scores and highlights for you back here at 9 and 10. That's a look at sports.
Thanks for watching KOTA Territory News, your local news and weather authority.